Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Vinyl Corner. I'm Jay Ross. Oh, I'm greasy, y'all, but I don't care. I still look good. But anyway, how everybody doing? And today we're gonna debut an album. It came out back in 1980. Yes, Miss Sylvia St. James. And this album, I'm gonna tell you a lot about this album. It plays a lot in my soundtrack of who I am as a music lover because this album, man, I mean, it has some real phenomenal songs on here. And it was produced by Larry Dunn, and you know Larry Dunn from Earth, Wind & Fire, and Lenny White, jazz artist, guitarist. So, Sylvia St. James, she started with the group Side Effect. Lead singer, shout out, rest in peace, Augie Johnson. She played a big part of them being the vocalist for the group. She did 2 albums, which was called Going Bananas and Rainbow Visions. And then she branched out and she was doing a little pretty much a lot of background session work with Wayne Henderson, jazz producer who worked with the Crusaders, and also did some of the Side Effects albums until Aki got signed to Elektra and started doing his own production that Mickey Howard did lead on 3 albums actually. But Sylvia St. James, she ended up going to the label they got on and recorded this first solo album. I'm telling you, this is the album everybody was trying to have me and buy because Talib Kweli used a sample for Ghetto, Lament. I forgot the name of the song that he used the sample for. And a lot of DJs and music lovers been hounding me for this album. They're like, how you get the album? I told them, I said, this is actually a promotional. And when I tell them it's a promotional, it's a white label, which this is a white label right here. Boom. Right there. And so when I tell folks that this album plays a big soundtrack of my life being who I am as a music lover, it does. And look how pretty she look on this inside. I love her. Y'all don't understand. And like a lot of this album to me had a lot of Earth, Wind & Fire elements. Especially the song that's playing in the background. If y'all can hear, it's called Better Things. If y'all can hear it. Tell me that don't give me no Earth, Wind & Fire. I'm telling you. And when I listen to this album, I hear a lot of those elements, but it's one song that struck a chord to me like for these past days. A song called Motherland, which is side 2 on this album. And look at the flow of this. Yes. Telling you. And with Sylvia, when she did this album, I believe one single she released off this album, I think it was, I believe Let Love Groove Me. And she worked with some good people on this album, and Don Blackman, rest in peace. He wrote a song on this album. It's called So I Say to You, which has a lot of interpretations of his song called Holding You. I think it's called Holding You, Loving You. I hope I didn't mess it up. I'm Holding You, Loving You from his album. And he was one of the session players of this album, and he did Let Love Groove Me, which was featured on the vocals. And the thing about Sylvia, she wrote a lot of this album and just arranged a lot of this on this album. And when I said that this album is a feel-good album, and I'm so glad that it's still streaming because actually Expansion Records actually excuse me, released both albums together because she released the second album that came out the year following, 81. which is called Echoes and Images. And Echoes and Images was produced by Andre Fisher. And anybody know who Andre Fisher is? He's the drummer of Rufus. Rufus and Shaka Khan. And you know, Andre had worked with a lot of people, and that year he worked with Betty Wright with her debut on Epic Records. He worked on that album too, and he worked on Brenda Russell's debut album that I dearly love. That's like one of my top 10 albums. But this album right here, Sylvia played a big foundation in this album that it's like a creative sound for her than the other sounds that she did with Side Effect. And so with her releasing this debut album, I mean, it had a lot of spiritual journey on this album. When you listen to the word content, the lyric content, the instrumentation, it grasps into your soul. I'm telling you, guys, if you find this album, my album here, people, you guys need to get into the motion to get this album. Because I'm telling you, if you find it, grab it and cherish it and thank me later when you listen to this, because I'm telling you, this album is the lick. I'm telling you. And that is it for today, for my little brief session. This album is called Sylvia St. James Magic. Get into it. It's out on all digital platforms. You can listen to it. Thank me later. My highlight tracks on this album is Better Things That's Playing, Let Love Groove Me, Motherland, Black Diamond, So I Say to You. Those are like my highlight songs that I cherish with this. So you guys, get into it. Buy it and get it. Thank you for tuning in. I will see y'all next week. Wait till y'all see the next album I'm going to be talking about. If y'all ain't ready.